as you know, we removed sanctions, the United States, I should say, removed sanctions on Burma over the past decade based on progress toward democracy. The reversal of that progress will necessitate an immediate review of our sanctions laws and authorities, followed by appropriate action.
And we're joined now by Michael Kugelman, the Asia Program Deputy Director and Senior Associate for South Asia on the Woodrow Wilson Center. He joins us from Annapolis, Maryland. Sir, thank you so much for being with us here on TRT World. So firstly, the U.S. is talking about sanctions, as you just heard, but those have a way of hurting regular people a lot more than they do leaders and governments. Can you tell us a bit more about the sanctions the U.S. might have in mind? And what's the next step if those sanctions do not work?
Yeah, well, it's very true that sanctions are actually quite risky, and we don't know yet what type of sanctions the U.S. may reapply. But it's true that if you slap traditional sanctions on the country, it could hurt the common man, the common person, which is not exactly what the Biden administration would want to do. And another risk of slapping sanctions on this military regime is that instead of getting the military to recede and to let democracy return, you could simply drive the Myanmar military into the arms of China, which has been a traditional patron of Myanmar. And that, of course, that's exactly what the Biden administration would not want to happen. So I think this is a quintessential policy conundrum for the new administration. It's an initial test. And it's something that I think this administration will take very personally, because many Biden administration officials, including President Biden himself, were in the Obama administration, which tried to help initiate a democratic transition in Myanmar almost a decade ago.
A big concern in this coup that a lot of people are talking about are the Rohingya. Now, Myanmar had been in talks with Bangladesh about the repatriation of Rohingya Muslims who fled Myanmar in 2017 after the brutal and deadly military crackdown. I believe repatriations were meant to begin in a few months. What are your thoughts on whether or not that will still happen?
Yeah, I'm very concerned. I mean, even if this coup had not happened, I think that Myanmar is not in a position where it's ready to accommodate all these returning Rohingya, particularly because they would have been cracked down on. And I think that with the military now running the show in Myanmar, if you do start having thousands of Rohingyas returning to Myanmar, I really worry about what the implications could be for the Rohingya community, which, again, as you noted, suffered tremendous levels of violence. Many describe it as ethnic cleansing back in 2017. And that was a time when theoretically you had a semblance of democracy in Myanmar. You just had a traditional military coup. And I think the last thing that this military would be interested in doing is trying to go out of its way to accommodate the return of these Rohingya. So I really do worry for the plight of that community.
All right, Michael Kugelman, we appreciate you speaking with us about this on this very important topic. Thank you for that.